Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you. Thank you for tuning in to Viola's story. Now, I have to apologize with my deepest heart. I, in the midst of starting these videos, kind of lost track of everything and forgot that Viola actually did not get her feeding tube at 6 months, but actuality, she got it at more like 3 months old. Sorry. Big difference in age. However, everything else is the same. Everything else I talked about actually happened and occurred in that window. It just seemed like a very long time with all the issues that were happening that it seemed like she was 6 months old. But she was only about 3, maybe 4 months old when that happened. So, let's talk about what we went through in terms of the surgery. When we were told about needing the feeding tube, we were like, okay, yeah, we're at that point, we're at that time. She wasn't, like I had mentioned in previous videos, wasn't really taking to the bottle. We were struggling with that. And so this is what we were told was our next step in hopes that this will help keep nutrition in her. When we're battling with that reflux, they said we'll also hopefully help with that. They also did tell us that they could do a Nissen, like I had mentioned. However, the doctor at the time said that they felt like that wasn't needed, so we supported what the doctor said. So now we're going through that whole process. This is her first surgery. So yeah, there is that. Plus, she was only 3 months old. So not only do we have to prepare ourselves, but we're wondering how she's going to handle everything. Basically, if you don't know what a G-tube is, it is, it's, what she has is called a Mickey button, and it just kind of comes in the stomach so that when you put in formula, milk, medicine, whatever it is, it goes straight to the stomach and bypasses everything else. And so, when they told us that, we're like, okay, and they kind of showed us what it would look like and what it would be like and everything, and they kind of prepared us how long surgery was going to take. And so we're like, okay, cool. We had a hard time during surgery, sitting still, waiting, wondering how is she doing. We knew she was in good hands, of course, because they do this all the time, but it's different when it's your own kid, right? So she came out of surgery, and they took us up into the room that they keep the kids in afterwards, and she was laying in her bed and just kind of groggy, like all kids are usually when they come out of being put under. She kind of started getting fussy and crabby. Just laying there, and we're looking at her. And just like, okay, she's crying. She's crying. No nurses came in, no doctors came by. We didn't know if we could pick her up or not pick her up. So we're just kind of like trying to, shh, it's okay, mommy, daddy, you're here, mom or daddy. She's just crying, and we're like, finally, I left the room to find a nurse to be like, look, can we pick her up now? Because no one told us anything. And they said, yes, as long as we're careful around the cords. And we're like, thank goodness. So, okay, now we've picked her up, and we're just careful about where the tube has been put in place on not squishing or messing with it. So we're holding on to her, and we've got her calmed down and everything. She seems fine. Everything's going great. And it was. She was doing really good, and she handled it great. They moved us to another unit after that. And from there is where we started hitting some struggles. More so with the reflux than the button itself. The struggles we were still facing with her was we were getting food pumped in, but it was coming back up. And so I tried to explain to them that this was the issue prior to, hence why we're getting the feeding tube is one of the reasons. And the nurses and the doctors were not going to release her because of that issues, because they have to be so many days without getting sick, because they were afraid that was something due to the surgery. And I was very insistent saying, no, that's not the case, that's not the case. We were probably in there for almost a week with her, and we should have only been in there for a day. So if this does happen to you, if you're in a similar situation, make sure you fight that and say, look, no, this is a typical thing, and just be insistent, because they got a whole week's worth out of the insurance company and us. of her stay rather than just the 1 day. So fight for your kid on that, and make sure you are their advocate right now, because they can't be their advocate. With that being said, we came home. You know, we were told about how to take care of it at the hospital. You know what you do. I think we had a follow with the doctor shortly after that. He kind of taught us how to clean around the area, how to keep the area clean and everything, and thus started our adventure into the feeding tube program. And she still has it. We still use it at night with her. There were a few other hiccups down the road that I'm going to talk about later, but that being said, I just wanted you guys to know that she's doing great. Let me think of something fun she has done this week. What's something positive she has done? This morning, actually, during her feeding time, when she gets to pick a show, and she actually, when it was her turn to pick, she'd go, "I pick, my turn." Yes, your turn. So words are starting to actually become more normal for her. So that's a big bonus for us. I hope that you will comment, share, and like this video with anybody who never knows who's going to need it. Until next time, have a good week.